Equalization Part 1. The 5 equalizers that we're going to cover in this movie and the next are the EQ'ing, the Fruity 7-band EQ, the Fruity Bass Boost, the Fruity Parametric EQ, and the Fruity Parametric EQ2. Now, equalizers are frequency-based volume control. That's it. Once we get into these effects, you'll quickly see that many of them do exactly the same thing, just in slightly different ways. Let's begin with the EQ'ing. This is a very exciting graphic EQ style equalizer. Let's explore the interface to give you an idea of how it works. It may be one of the easiest graphic EQs to use ever. Now, we have a sample drum loop we're going to play as we look at this, and we'll play part of it for part of the time, and then I think I'll actually turn it down and we can just look at this visually. Let's mute this now. Number one, you can see the interface has a frequency response curve that is real time in reference to what's going on the track. Now let's look at each of these things independently. First, we have a bank of these down here. Now these do not run simultaneously at all times. Only one of these is active. But you can morph between them using this morph knob over here. However, let's begin with the interface first. Number one, we have the actual pencil mode, we have the line mode, and we have the curve mode. The curve mode is what comes up as default, and you'll quickly see what each of these does. The pencil allows you to do one at a time or draw a line for them. The line tool lets you draw only in lines. The bell tool actually allows you to draw on one of these bands and it draws a bell around them. This is a way of clicking one place and having a curve drawn. All real time. Now here we can say I want to go back to flat, I want to do a random curve, or I want to interpolate 1 to 8. And that's going to take these here and interpolate them together. Now we also have the Analyze tool, and what this is going to do is going to take the current program material at that moment that you click it, and it's going to create an opposite curve so that when you were to add this curve and the program material together, that it would equal a flat curve. Now this is useful for several things. One of them is when you're, for instance, trying to equalize your room with your speakers, because the ideal is to have a flat frequency response. You can actually send pink noise through your speakers into a microphone and then do Analyze, and it will create the curve that once it's sent to your speakers will create a flat response in your room. Now this is really great for that type of thing. It's also great for just hitting this and coming up with a nice response of a certain sound, etc. Now, other things that we can do. First of all, we can pan the EQ as well over this. So now this part of the spectrum is going to be going out one way, this part is going to be going out the other, etc. We can also send this different frequencies to different parts of the send. As I said before, these are different banks. One is active at a time, etc. Very, very powerful, cool tool. Now, a couple other things we have here. First of all, we have a shift tool, which is going to allow you to shift whatever you've done over. We also have a mix tool, which is going to allow you to take this and make it opposite, the inverse, or flat, or the original. Now, morphing allows us to take this curve and mix it with the next one. All the way through up into the 8. So you can actually morph a number of these in together. Very powerful. We have volume, which is really just going to set the overall output volume, and smooth. Now smooth is an interesting thing because it's going to allow it to transition whenever you touch a button. It actually smooths the response of the interface. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but this plugin is really designed very well for live usage. So if you're in a club or doing a live concert, there's a lot of things here that are really designed for live use. Now the other thing we can do is have it be a send only. That's going to mute it on the track. We can also do adding mode and oversampling, which these two are going to send up your CPU usage because they're really going to improve the quality. The add mode is going to change how the actual EQ process is processed, and oversampling is really just going to kick up the overall quality of this thing. Now here we have bandwidth. A narrow bandwidth is going to allow you to affect the EQ over a narrow amount, band per band, as opposed to a very wide one, which you're going to see really smooths it out and makes it super wide. So this is this really powerful graphic EQ. Where do we go from here? Let's go on to the next EQ that we have on the list, the Fruity 7-band EQ. And let's actually turn that one off for now. Now right away you're going to notice what a simple interface this is. This is also basically a graphic EQ without the graphic component. What we have are 7 bands of fixed frequency width to boost and cut. Now I would be very surprised to see people using this particular effect. It's really not that powerful. You know, it sounds decent, but it's just very limited what it can do. Boost and cut at each of these different bands. The next one, the bass boost, is another one that's very similar to that. You have a limited range, 100 Hz down to 20 Hz with an amount. This is really just a bass boost, just like it says. Now when might you use this? You might use this if your frequency needs to be boosted in the bass, but your CPU bandwidth is limited. This is not going to take up very much room on the CPU. So it is one nice thing about this, that you can just stick it in there and use it any time. Okay, let's go on to the next movie where we're going to discuss the rest of the equalizers.